Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Heavy Silicon. My name is Eric, and today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite games of all time, Perfect Dark. After seeing the new trailer for the Perfect Dark reboot at the Game Awards this year, I was inspired to go back and check out the original game from the year 2000, and see how well the game aged compared to other games of that time period like Halo.
Alert, Covenant dropship inbound. They must be looking for survivors. I recommend immediate evasion.
The first FPS game I ever played was GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. It sparked a love for the genre that never left me. After playing the hell of GoldenEye, I craved another first-person shooter just like it. That's when I discovered my dad's old copy of Perfect Dark. I remember popping it into the N64 and being in awe of the sci-fi futuristic atmosphere of the intro cutscene. I played this game even more than GoldenEye, and it quickly became one of, if not my favorite game of all time. I played it at my friend's house, I played it with my sister, I even made my friends play it whenever they came over to my house. Perfect Dark released in the year 2000, rather late into the Nintendo 64's life cycle, just a year before the release of Nintendo's next game console, the GameCube. It also means that it came out just a year before the most revolutionary first-person shooter ever, in my opinion, Halo Combat Evolved on Microsoft's Xbox. When I recently replayed Perfect Dark for this review, I noticed a lot of similarities between Bungie's Halo and Perfect Dark. Besides the obvious sci-fi setting the games both have, the similarity that really stuck out to me the most was how both had a mid-game twist that served to shake up the gameplay and plot to reinvigorate the player's interest. While Halo had the Flood show up halfway into the game and drastically change the combat dynamic compared to the Covenant, Perfect Dark had, well, aliens, which was very unexpected seeing as up until this point in the game you had been fighting your standard human soldiers you'd see in games like Call of Duty. Perfect Dark introduced two warring races of aliens into the mix, the Mayans and the Skidar. The Mayans were peaceful aliens that assist you in the game, while the Skidar serve as your enemies, just like the Covenant in Halo. The Mayans and the Skidar have been at war for many years, each unable to gain the upper hand in the fight. The Skidar are motivated by their war-worshipping religion, which brings me to another similarity between the two games, the fanatically religious aliens that you battle. While Perfect Dark has the Skidar, Halo has the Covenant. Both are motivated to wage war against the humans by the religious perspectives. Sadly, due to the N64's controller and the console's power, the game hasn't aged perfectly. However, many of these problems are only exclusive to the original N64 version, and are fixed in the much better, in my opinion, Xbox Live Arcade version of the game, which was ported to the Xbox 360 and is still playable on the new Xbox Series X and Xbox One. First off, the controls. While not aging well at all, like most of the single-stick shooters of the N64 era, the game remains playable, albeit requiring some getting used to. The controls remain fine for the majority of the gameplay, but become rage-inducing whenever you have to look up to shoot gun turrets or flying drones. This problem is mostly solved in the XBLA version of the game, which utilizes twin joysticks thanks to the Xbox 360's incredible controller. However, aiming still feels a little unresponsive at times. Finally, one last complaint about the game is the lack of facial expressions or mouth movement in the cutscenes. This is understandable from a game of this era, but the XBLA version fails to address this either, leaving the characters' faces looking completely emotionless and out of place during cutscenes.
Dr. Carroll? Dr. Carroll, are you here?
Well, is it safe to come out?
Yes, all clear.
Thankfully, the positives of the game far outweigh the negatives, like the incredibly well-designed and creative guns. With a total of 39 weapons, including futuristic human, Skidar, and Mayan weapons, as well as a variety of secondary firing modes for the majority of them, Perfect Dark's guns will always impress. Perfect Dark also managed to fit dual wielding into the game as well, something Halo didn't manage to do until its sequel. Perfect Dark was arguably way ahead of Halo in terms of weapon variety and features. Another place that Perfect Dark shines is the sound design. All of the weapons have unique and beefy firing sounds, and the reloading sounds amazing as well. The game's soundtrack also impresses. It truly gives off feelings of futuristic wonder and urgency. The game also boasts a very creative form of difficulty adjustment, where the goals of each level change depending on the chosen difficulty, unlike your standard first-person shooter which simply adjusts the amount of damage you take, or the amount of damage you give to your enemies. Finally, this brings me to the level design, which is anything but linear. The majority of the levels feature multiple goals and branching paths to explore, with lots of secrets to find and unlock, always leaving the player feeling accomplished. So, is Perfect Dark, well, perfect? No. But it remains still one of the greatest shooters of all time. Sadly, because of its aging controls, it falls short of achieving the same greatness of games like Halo or Half-Life 2. However, I will always remember it for its incredibly influential role in my life, and hopefully the lives of many others.
Don't joke. You have to be careful, Joanna. Code keys will only operate while the owner is alive.